Hey, what's up, YouTube fans? So what I wanted to talk about in this video, right, is this creationist argument where they get hung up on macroevolution, because, oftentimes, like, when creationists are saying that, evolution is, not real or something like that, and you point out, well, do you know that evolution is observed? They'll oftentimes say, like, microevolution is observed, but macroevolution has never been observed, right? And they'll say things like, show me proof that macroevolution is possible. But so this is the thing. First off, microevolution is still evolution. So if you acknowledge that microevolution is real, then you shouldn't be saying that evolution isn't real, because even microevolution is evolution, right? And then secondly, there's so macroevolution, right, relies on all of the same mechanisms as microevolution, all of the same processes, such as adaptation, genetic drift, gene flow, mutation. It's all the same mechanisms, whether we're talking micro or macroevolution, and there's no strictly defined like definition as to where the cutoff exactly is, at where do we draw the line between what counts as micro versus macro evolution. There's not a strict definition to that, right? So they're getting hung up on these like terms of micro versus macro evolution, but there's no strict criteria as to like where specifically do we draw the line and say like, okay, that's enough that it now counts as macroevolution. There's no strict definition to that. Most definitions will just say something like, for macroevolution, they'll just say evolution at a large scale. Well, how large of a scale counts as a large scale? It's not strictly defined, right? The most strict definitions that you'll come across will be where they'll say that it's evolution above the species level, but the evolution of new species is something that's been observed, right? And as for like the evolution of a new genus, evolution of new genera, that's the plural for genus. I can't find any information on that, but in the case of genus, that is also something that's not strictly defined. What constitutes a genus, other than that it's a taxonomic category below family and above species. But what criteria counts for what makes something a genus is not strictly defined. it isn't even for species. Even in the case of species, there's a lot of debate amongst biologists about what should be the definition of species. How should groups be distinguished as being the same species or not? There's not even agreement upon that. It's not even universally agreed upon any definition for species, and there certainly isn't for genus, right? And so there's no strictly defined criteria by which we like can definitively say that like, oh, this is the exact line at which, it crosses the point of where it's not just microevolution but it's macroevolution. There's no strict definition to that, right? And macroevolution relies on all the same mechanisms as microevolution, right? And so the fact that they're hung up on, macroevolution and saying like, oh, well, macroevolution has never been observed, I think it's a facetious argument, right? Um, you know, because it's not really giving me like what's a specific thing that you think hasn't been observed, demonstrated to be possible. Um, there's no strict criteria for what makes something macroevolution, right? So all right, that's all for now. See you guys.